well.
So the other thing with the Steelers, this always comes up, and I talked to Aaron Schatz about this from Football Outsiders and Warren Sharp, who does great things with NFL analytics. But what you just said, when he's under center, they run 89% of the time?
85%.
85% of the time, pardon me. Yeah. Apologize. And then when they're in shotgun, 76%. 76% of the time they pass. Okay. Any analytics guy in the NFL will tell you play action is one of the most consistently successful things you can do on a football field offensively. And it doesn't even matter if you establish the run. No, you don't even have
to.
That's
a myth. Yes.
It's a myth.
Yeah. Make it look like you might.
It's just it just works, period. Doesn't matter what your personnel is. It's just amazing. The Steelers do not do it.
Not only do they not run play action, they don't motion players either. So they don't do either one. And so like they're by far the least amount of play action and the least amount of motion of any team, and it's like by a massive amount too. It's not even by like a little bit. And so they don't do anything to mess with the defenses, and they know what play is coming.
And I got one more to add on to that. Big Ben no longer sneaks. Mm-hmm. So when it's 4th and short, like this was always the thing about Phillip Rivers. Phillip Rivers played an entire NFL career. You have to find like Zapruder film to find a sneak.
What did we come up with? I think we came up with 2 carries.
Yeah, there's like 2 in his whole career. Big Ben, who by the way, let me point out that in his nickname the word big exists. Right? You can just fall
forward, bro.
So now at his advanced age, he doesn't do that either.
No.
He didn't do it last year. He just will not do it. So Matt Canada, as you point out, has come in. One would hope that he knows all of this stuff and would adjust, but can you really adjust to a 39-year-old quarterback?
Yeah, I don't know. I have a poor taste in my mouth about Matt Canada, who came into and screwed up LSU's offense, something fierce, and got run out after a year. But you mentioned Warren Sharp. I mean, he's so. You got Football Outsiders that says this team's forecasted 8.8 wins. Then you got Warren Sharp who's got him at 8.5 wins. A lot of people are saying about the same thing. Then you got Pro Football Focus, who's even more down on them, who has them at 7.7 wins, right? And so remember, 17-game season this year. So they're kind of saying this team is going to be under 500.
They're kind of saying that.
All of these guys here. I mean, this is also compounded by the fact that they have the toughest schedule in the NFL as we head into 2021. Based on forecasted wins, if you look at the schedule right here, they have the toughest schedule in the NFL, and it's by a lot. And you start to go down and through the schedule, and you're looking for soft landing spots. And yeah, you see a Lions on there. You see like maybe you could try to make a case for the couple of games against Cincinnati. But I mean, listen, there's a chance that offense with Joe Burrow back and all of those wide receivers could be legit. I mean, like you're looking for soft landing spots outside of those games. Maybe the Raiders, I guess. Maybe.
You know what? As I'm just glancing at the schedule, a lot of obviously their division games they play home roads, but of the tough opponents out of division, there's like almost a quarter of their schedule is road games against those. So at Bills, at Packers, now that Aaron Rodgers is back, we can include that. At Chargers, at Chiefs, just off the top, right there. And at Vikings, throw that in for good measure. So that's 5 road games against really good opponents. You would want 1 or 2 of those to be at home, ideally.
Yeah.
But no. I mean, those are 5 where they are going to be, one would assume, not just negligible dogs in.
Yeah, and like I said, it's not only the toughest schedule, but it's the toughest schedule by a lot. It's not even one of those things where we're kind of like, just by a time. No, it's very, very hard. And so now you look here, the defensive line is awesome, right? I mean, that is going to be how this team goes about winning games. They led the league with pressure rate last year, 45.1% pressure rate. That's absolutely outstanding. We know that pressure rate is more important than actual even sack numbers, but they did lead the league in that as well. But you have to get pressure in order to get sacks. And so, like, pressure is where we kind of look at with things like this. They did lose Bud Dupree, but Alex Highsmith was a rookie last year, actually really capable, I think, of filling in this year. Actually finished the year with a higher pass rush win rate than Dupree did, 16.5% to 13.7%. And then, of course, T.J. Watt, Cam Hayward, Stephon Truitt, all those guys are just absolute studs. And so, I mean, the defensive line is where it's at. The defensive front seven's where it's at for this team. But you have an old guy in Ben Roethlisberger who doesn't throw the ball down the field and all this. And then you've got an offensive line here that could be a serious liability. It could be a real big problem here for first-year offensive line coach Adrian Klemm. You have, according to Pro Football Focus, they have them ranked 31st heading into 2021. Only one offensive line worse than them. As mentioned, Pouncey retired. They'll have 3 new starters. Zach Banner is coming off an injury. They signed Trey Turner, who missed 7 games last year for the Chargers. Kendrick Green is a third-round rookie who is going to have to start. Kevin Dotson is the only starter to grade inside the top 120 offensive linemen, according to Pro Football Focus this year. And they're going to be shifting around and playing new roles because, again, Villanueva's out of town, Pouncey retires, so all these players are playing new positions and stuff. So the projected offensive line as we sit today, they have played a total of 248 NFL snaps at the position that they are actually scheduled to play this year. And that is an offensive line in the NFL, and that is going to be a serious problem for a team, again, with Ben Roethlisberger at quarterback, who, if you just sit back there and you're predictable with a bad offensive line, it is going to be, I think it could be a nightmare. And look at these projections, since we keep saying this. It's not end-all, be-all. But we have 3 pretty sharp Pro Football Focus, Warren Sharp and Sharp Football and Football Outsiders, all of these 8.8 wins, 8.5 wins, and 7.7 wins. Everybody's not high on this team. Everybody thinks this team takes a huge step back. Tons of regression to be set in right here. I think the bet to make for me on this team would be for them to no on the playoffs for sure.
No on the playoffs.
Yeah.
Sitting at minus 175.
Minus 175.
Yeah.
Would you take a flyer for them to finish even behind the Bengals?
I think that's pretty.
At plus 450.
Look, we saw what happened, and this is just to let you know how, as bad as Ben Roethlisberger was, we saw 2 years ago what this team looks like without him there, and they were even worse, right? And so, I mean, what if he is still just a shell of himself? I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility for them to finish last.
No, I don't either. Plus 450 is pretty juicy, as Danielle said.